Back came left of screen. Seaton tucked in behind him. You can see Dick Johnson, the second shell car. There's Peter Brock. Away they go. Seaton's got a good run. Can Bauer get up there? No, he can't. Seaton has won the jump. This is critical.
Well, he certainly wanted to win the start, Gary, and he's done it. Delivered on that first corner through. So Seaton, as you say, could be the crucial stage in the race, that start, if he can hold out Bauer. So Bauer now shuffled back to second place. Brock up to third. Johnson up to fourth. Perkins and Mazira, and the first of the Winfield cars. I think Mark Scaife there. So terrific start from the V8 as they come across the back of the circuit down toward Hungry Corner for the first of 39 times.
Yeah, the last thing John Bauer wants at the moment is to have to really hurt his car, to force it worse than he would like to in an attempt to stay with Glenn Seaton. But Glenn, a beautiful start there. Can't take that away from him. That was a ripper. And leading this field here in the second heat.
John Bauer leads the Shell Series for 1995 after 4 rounds. Look at, oh gosh. He was hung out wide there just a moment, Glenn Seaton, but had the power to outlast Bauer in the corner. Bauer under threat now from Peter Brock. Yeah, well, that would have mucked up his corner exit speed there, backing off for Seaton, and Bauer's taken advantage. He pushes by the outside of the 250k sweeper down inside John Bauer. So Brocky up to second, Bauer back to third. Teammate Johnson in fourth, Perkins in fifth, and Mazira in sixth. Plenty of cut and thrust in this opening lap. Pressure really told on John Bauer there.
He's not looking happy, Gary.
Slow off the start, then a slight mistake there, and he shuffled back to third place.
Well, I'm sure he's aware of the pressure of not getting involved in this racing back front. He had a dream run at the front of the field, get nice, quick, consistent laps, and was just able to make the tyres last. But if he gets involved with a torrid dicey with Brock or even his teammate, it could increase the wear rates on his tyres. So it should be fascinating to see Bauer's progress from here.
Well, he's in a position now where he hasn't got any choice in the matter. He's got to work to catch the two in front. He's got to work to fight off the people coming from behind.
Yeah, he's actually quite a long way away too, relatively, for the job he's got in hand.
Well, he did very well on the dash this morning. He picked up some maximum points in Heat 1, so maybe he'll discretion is the better part of the ballot here as far as his championship chase is concerned, and settle for third. But knowing John Bauer, that will not be in the equation.
He could have been just wanting to absolutely nurse the heat into these tires and just get them up to operating temperature nicely without causing any extra strain on them. And he may come back at these fellows in front again.
Glenn Seaton must have been doing some work on his starts. He's a notoriously poor starter in touring car racing, but today he won the start in the dash and he won the start in the critical second heat. So Seaton really is on the money as he fights back in this critical part of the championship, halfway for the 1995 title.
You know, that Mobile Commodore isn't looking too shabby there in second spot either. It's floating along very nicely, and I shouldn't use the term floaties. Peter's driving it extremely hard, but not as effective in the first heat, but he's certainly a challenge for Glenn Seaton here in the second heat. A long way to go still.
Lap 3 of 39. Fastest man on the track at the moment is John Bauer, just fired off a 52.28. Previously Brock had the fastest lap, so obviously these cars running within a tenth or even 100th of a second of each other at this opening part of the second heat.
Glenn Seaton leads, Peter Brock in second place, John Bauer third. Just a slight gap there to Dick Johnson holding down fourth spot as they come into view, followed by Larry Perkins and then Thomas Mazira in the second Mobile Net Commodore. Mark Scaife goes through, followed by Tony Longhurst and Jim Richards.
Here's the battle for the lead. Seaton, great start, trying to build on that lead, but Brock's not going to let him go. Very quick here. Fast times matching the Fords in these opening laps and looking very, very strong.
John Bell back in the picture now. Here we go. The better grow car. Chambry's having a little difficulty. Doesn't do every round of the championship, but has done well here as a privateer today, but obviously not at this point of the day. I'm going to say John Bauer, I think, just took his time to settle into this race. He may have had a case of nerves. Obviously, a lot resting on it. He wants to win his inaugural Australian Touring Car Championship, and as such, the pressures to do everything just right are a real strain on any driver. Long wait between the two heats. It's not as if he just can jump out of that first race and get back in it, but he's now starting to pressurize Brocky, and I think he's in the groove now. He's where he likes to be. He's in the office. And he's firing now on all 8.
He's pushing very hard on Brock now, and with good reason, because Glenn Seaton just getting that car length additional gap on Brock up front, and Bauer, above all else, doesn't want to see Seaton slipping away. Well, the nature of this track, as Alan Jones said this morning, very, very difficult to overtake if the guy in front is an expert at defensive drive, and you've got two experts here. Brock will not give up without a fight, but Bauer, as Alan said, looking more comfortable now after those opening few circuits. Well, round here there's a right line, a wrong line, and the difference between the two is a very fine line. So
John Bowe.
Suicidal line.
Lines up Peter Brock here. 2 or 3 laps, just having a look if there's any weak part of the Commodore's lap time where he may be able to take advantage. But the great advantage of the Falcon round here is high average speed, and these cars have shown some superior mid-corner speed, I think you'd call it. And he really makes up some ground on Brock here as they shoot onto the straight. He's right under the wing of Mobile 05.
I'd say another lap and he'll be looking to make a move on Brock here. He's
thinking,
surveying the scene.
Something's changed this lap. He's got his headlights on. Brocky on the move. Has a look down the outside. Flames belching from the exhaust as he works his way back through the Hollinger gearbox. Staying right behind Brock, under pressure, a little bit sideways under power as he comes out of the carousel that time.
Yeah, Peter Herding now, he's trying to stay with it, and with the harder tire combination that he's elected to run this weekend, he's starting to suffer a bit now. You can just see the back of the Holden coming out.
Slower traffic up ahead. Seaton balked just for a moment.
Glenn Seaton, the fastest man on the track. He's just put in the fastest lap so far, 52.21. But these 2 guys behind him, only a 1/10 of a second shy of his lap times at this stage. So the front 3 very evenly matched. This lap traffic could be the critical thing.
That's the Chembry car back after a spin. Seaton by, so to Brock and Bowe.
Well, this is the price of failure, if you want to call losing the start failure. John on the front row, he wasn't able to capitalize, and now he's having to fight his way past Peter Brock. Just doing everything within reason.
And they must have the temperatures under control with the Shell Info V8 engines, Alan. He hasn't ducked out of his draft 1 for the last 3 or 4 laps. Oh, there's a big fire here. It looks like Alan Jones.
Boy, that one's going. They better get a fire truck down there faster. That's going to be 1 car down the drain.
There's a big barbecue on here. Jones is out of the car, but you can see flames. This car is going to be engulfed in fire very, very quickly.
This is going to be a write-off in about another 3 seconds.
Jones, no onboard fire extinguisher system in these cars, and there is absolutely nothing he can do about it.
Where's the fire truck?
There's nobody inside to come to the assistance, so this is
here we
are.
Well, that's pretty good, but
there's going to be a lot of damage. Yeah, a lot of damage under the bonnet of that car. It's probably gone through to the interior as well, and they're having a lot of trouble getting under control. Volatile fuel or oil mix, just spraying the foam on it. And boy, they're going to have to get in there quickly because that thing will take hold.
It's got a bite underneath the car. Oh, John Bowe through.
Meanwhile, just as Alan Jones' car erupts into flames, a big change here at the front. Bowe pushes his way through. And that lap will be cut away to that action. So Brock now back to 3rd position, and he'll be trying very, very hard to hang on to the back of Bowe as he in turn goes in pursuit of Glenn Seaton in 1st place.
And he's got some work to do, because whilst this dice has been going on, Seaton has got a nice little cushion up front.
Yes, he's had enough just to go, but I think John Bowe is really determined with the knowledge of how hard he drove it in the first heat. He knows what he can do to these tires, and it appears as if he's prepared to go after Seaton. Glenn, of course, will be worried about what happened to Alan's car. 2 cars coming out of the same shop. He'll wonder, boy, have I got the same problem?
Look at this. Just as you're talking, Alan, Brock, I don't know what happened there. Bowe moved right over to the outside of the track. Brock gave him a wave. He just drove past him without a fuss. So I don't know what's going on there. John Bowe may be in trouble. It's almost as though he waved Brocky through.
You don't have to give Peter Brock an invitation to fill a gap.
Very unusual move there from John Bowe, having wrested 2nd place from Brock. There's Jones' car. The fire.
There's the aftermath of the fire in Alan Jones' Peter Jackson Falcon. What a mess.
Well, they got there just in time. Another